This is the CLP controller for our central loaders 3-station with 2 material valves. This is your basic screen that you operate from at all times, and you can always get to this screen by hitting the escape key. You can go through a series of screens, but no matter where you are, you can get to this screen. And this is sort of like the window between the two programs, the PLC program and our program that runs the loaders. Across the top you can see the inputs, 1, 2, and 3 would be station 1, 2, and 3, the material switch coming in. So if you see that highlighted, it's going to tell you that it's calling for material. And then below you have your 8 outputs, and they'll be highlighted when the relays are telling those devices to activate. 1 is your motor, your pump. 2 is filter clean. 3 is station 1. 4 is station 1 2 material valve. 5 is station 2. 6 is station 2 2 material valve. And 7 is station 3. 8 is station 3 2 material valve. You notice that it's in the stop mode here. That means that the controller is on. You can change the parameters, but it's not going to actually run the machine. So this is a good place to have it when you're making adjustments if you're not actually in production. So from this screen, if we want to change our parameters, you're going to hit select, and then you can go up and down keys to different menus. The station 1, 2, 3, number of cycles, and we're going to go over all these in a minute. Let's go back up to station 1. If I want to make a change, for example, right now it's set at 11-second load time. I'm going to hit select. And let's say I want to change that back down to 10. I'll use the cursor to move it over to the digit that I want to change. I'm going to hit select. I'll use the arrow key down, and I will say OK. Now if I wanted to change the material to time, I could just go down and hit select again to change that. So right now it's set at 10 seconds load time, and 4 of those seconds are going to be loading material 2 or regrind. And that's basically how you set the proportion. You can set material 2 at 0 if you're not running regrind, or any percentage of the load time. So if it's going to run 10 seconds, 4 of the seconds will be regrind. So that's relatively simple. We'll go down. We'll have to escape to get out of that. And now we're going to go down. Same thing for station 2 and station 3. Now we get down to the next series of windows. And this is where you can adjust the number of cycles per load, which normally you would set this at 1 or 2. You can set it higher than that, but you can't really keep control over your percentages if you do that. So this means if you set it at 2 cycles, that means it's going to load virgin, regrind, as opposed to 1 where it will just load virgin and then regrind. So this is how many times the valves cycle during the loading process, but it still remains that portion of 10 seconds and 4 seconds, which is adjusted separately for each station. Now we come down to filter time. At the end of each load, this unit does have filter cleaning for all of the stations. It does blow back through the air valves. So this is telling us that we want the filter time to be 4 seconds. And in a second we'll show you how we adjust the on-off pulse, but it will do whatever you set it. For 4 seconds it will be cleaning filters. Then we come down to on time and off time. These are in tenths of a second, so this will be 6/10 on and 6/10 of a second off. And you can adjust that for whatever works best for you. This is not something that you need to change on a regular basis. I would just leave it the way it is to start. And that's it. It's just that simple. Now let's try to actually turn it on, which is where a lot of customers have difficulty. So I want to get back to that I/O screen by hitting escape, and that just shows you wherever you are you can get back to that screen. And you can see here it's in the stop mode, so it's not going to run, but we want it to run, so we can hit escape again, and then you can see run there. We're going to go down to run. We're going to say OK, and escape. Now one thing you might notice when we do this, let's do this again. We're going to say run, OK, and we want to go up to yes and say OK. Now you notice it comes right back saying stop. That's asking you if you want to tell it to stop. That's not in the stop mode. You can see that everything's live now, and if we escape back to our I/O screen, it's now in the run mode. So this loader would be actively running. Now, if we tell it that a material switch is on, then it's going to start the loading process. After a slight buffering, you can see the motor's on, station 1 is on, and it's activating the proportioning valve appropriately. When it's done with that, it's going to clean the filter, which is what it's doing now. The T-valve is still open so that it can clean the filter, and then it's going to try to load again. And it will keep doing that unless you put on another station or the material valve or the material switch stops calling for material. So that's how it works. If you have any question, give us a call at 800-918-5820. Have a great day.